Hey guys, welcome back to IT Classroom. I hope you all are doing well. Today we are looking at 0580 paper 2 variant 2 from May June 2024, which was the paper that I had attempted, and you guys have seen my results in the previous video. So this is the newest paper from 0580, and today we're going to have a look at it. Let's go. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video with your friends. More videos of 2024 papers are coming soon, and also if you find my videos helpful, then you can take my membership also, which I will the perks of which are mentioned in the memberships. It allows you to take online tutoring and get special badges, or else if you just feel like saying thanks to me, you can do so using a super thanks. It'll be very supported. So let's go and start up today's paper 0580 paper 22. So the first question that we have, the temperature at midnight is -4, the temperature at noon is 25. Work out the difference between these two temperatures. So we take the final temperature, which is 25, and we do minus, and this -4, this will give us basically 29 degrees. Final minus initial always, 29 degrees Celsius. Next says, a gardener charges $6.55 for each hour he works plus a fixed rate of $15.50. Calculate the total amount he charges when he works for 4 hours. So $15.50, and then we're gonna add 4 times 6.55. Pretty easy question. 15.50 plus 4 times 6.55, that would give you 41.7. Alright, 41.7. Then it says that you have a stem and leaf diagram to complete. So first we see the values of 2. So 22 and 28. The keys given, make sure you read the key always. 2 and 8. I would just cross them out so that I don't mention them again. For 3, I think I've got 36 and 39. 36, 39. So we just cross these out. Then for 4, we have got 48, 44, 41. Okay, so 1, 4, 8, and 9. 1, 4, 1, 4, 8, and 9. 1, 4, 8, and 9. And for 5, we have got 2, 4, 7, 7. 2, 4, 7, 7. That is 2, 4, 7, 7. This is it. Pretty easy question. Find the median. For the median, just take the lowest values. So as you can see, we just we can cross these values out. Just a minute. We can cross the values of 2. That means this, and this. 4 values out. So with remaining 4 values that you have in the center, you only take the middle 2 of them. That is 44 plus 48. So 44 plus 48 divided by 2, which would give me 46. You can see the middle of those both numbers. I hope you guys have understood the method. I've just crossed out the 4 values on the first side and 4 values, the last 4 values. I'm remaining with 4 values. I cut these both out as well, and I'm remaining with 2 values and just finding the mean of both of them. Moving on, it says that Jonah has $750. He spends 1/4 of his money on travel and some of his money on food. He now has 437.50. Work out the fraction of 750 he spends on food. So first of all, we need to know how much did he spend on traveling. So 1/4 of 750. When you take your calculator, 0.25 into 750, that gives you, 1/4 of 750, 187.5. That is how much you spent. So 750 minus 187.5. 750 minus 187.5 gives you 562.5. So when he had this much amount, after he spent the money from this 562, he got 437. So 562.5 minus 437.5. When you subtract them, 562.5 minus 437.5, you would get 125. So this is the amount of money spent on food. Now read carefully the fraction. So 125 over 750. 125 over 750 simplified will give you 1/6. Okay, now it says the table shows a part of a tram timetable from New Point to Westhill. So it says that a tram which leaves at 10:30 arrives at 11:17 and so on. All the trams take the same number of minutes to complete the journey from New Point to Westhill. Complete the table. So 10:30 to 11:17. If you see, that's 47 minutes. 13:30 to 14:17, that's 47 minutes. So that means this also takes 47 minutes. So if you use a calculator 12, 18, 00 and add 00, 47, 00, it would give you 1305. You can do it by yourself as well because 12, 42, and yeah, plus 5, 1305. That's right. Then it says write this figure 0.046282 to two significant figures. So you can just say 4.6 into 10 to the power of negative 2. Always check these answers with your calculators to make sure you're not getting them wrong. 4.6 into 10 to the power of negative 2. When I enter this in my calculator and I simplify it, I would get 0.046, which is correct as per this. On this diagram, shade the region A union B. A union B basically means the whole of A and B. That means this region, everything basically, except the outer parts. A union B. That gives me 1 mark. Okay. Now Kai invests 5,000 in account paying simple interest at a rate of R% per year. At the end of 8 years, the value of his investment is 5,700. Now remember, in the formula of simple interest, it's always the interest. So when we take 5,000 initial investment into 8 years into the rate which we don't know, divide that by 100. Now you see the total value is 5,700, but only the return will be 5,700 minus 5,000. So we can say that 5,000 into 8, which is 40,000, or is equals to 5,000 minus 5,000. 700 minus 5,000 is 700. 700 into 100 would give you this value. So R is basically 70,000 divided by 40,000, and 70,000 divided by 40,000, that gives you 1.75. So that would be your answer, 1.75. You can check for yourself, because when you do 5,000 into 8 into 1.75 divided by 100, you get 700, which is the interest amount. Now it says describe fully the single transformation that transforms A into B. As you can see, the size has changed, so it should be enlargement. The scale factor A, let's say initially had a length of 2, now it become 4, so it would say scale factor 2. Scale factor 2. If you want to find the center, so you would just take your ruler, which I'm taking here, and then you would draw a line from the corresponding points. You can take 2 corresponding points or 3 if you want to be more precise with your answer, but 2 is usually enough. 2, and then the last one, if you want to take this third point as well. Yes, so as you can see, they're all meeting up at 1, negative 1, so that would be a center. Center, okay, center 1, negative 1. It says on the grid, draw the image of triangle A after the translation by the vector and negative 4, 3. Now negative 4 means 4 steps towards the left, and 3 means up. So you can erase these lines, you don't need them, just draw them with pencil. Just take any one point, imagine I take this point, so 4 steps means 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then it will go up, so 1, 2, 3. So this would be 1 point, this is the second point, and this is the third point, which is the same. I don't need to do it for all the points separately because the size does not change when you're translating. So this is how it would look like. It says write 174,000 in the standard form, that is 1.74 into 10 to the power of 5. But whenever you're doing this, just check the answer with the same value on the calculator. Just insert this 1.74 into 10 to the power of 5 and see what value you get. 1.74 into 10 to the power of 5. Now the next question says a company surveys 40 of its employees. In a survey, 3 employees say they walk to work. So the company has a total of 1240. So basically, out of 40, you got 3. So out of 1240, how much would you get? That would be the same method as like this. So 3 out of 40 into 1240. That gives us 93. Because we're saying that imagine 3 out of 40 is a fraction. This fraction of the 1240 would also be expecting the same employees. Look, expected. This is not the accurate answer. And this is one way we can use smaller data to actually estimate for larger data. 93 would be your answer. Moving on, we have a trigonometry question which says that the diagram shows a right angle triangle. Calculate the value of x. So basically, this is opposite side, this is adjacent side, and this is hypotenuse side. Now, as you know, the SOHCAHTOA, so CAH, if we take cos theta, would be adjacent over hypotenuse. So In order to find theta, we can use cos inverse the value of adjacent, which is 8.5, or the value of hypotenuse, which is 14. Cos inverse 8.5 divided by 14, that has given us 52.6. 3 significant figures is the best, or 1 decimal place for angles, without using a calculator workout. So now first of all, if you want to work out this, you have to change both of the fractions into a normal improper fraction. 4 into 2 is 8 plus 1, 9. So 9 over 4 divided by 8 times 1 is 8 plus 7 is 15. So 15 divided by 8. So then 9 over 4. When you want to divide, you just multiply and then you switch to other fraction. Alright, now you can simplify this. 4 will be crossed out with 1 and this will be 2. And for 9 you can do it with 3. So 3 and this will be 5. This just makes your process more easier because you have to do it without a calculator. So 6 divided by 5. So it's a mixed number. So again, I would say 1 whole 1 over 5. Okay. Now you can check this whole thing with the calculator as well. Just put 2 1 over 4 divided by 1 times 7 over 8. That gives me 6 by 5. If I press shift and then if I press S into D on my calculator on my model, it will give me the mixed fraction answer as well. Next question, we have question number 14, which says A is a 0.02 and B is a 0.86, which are given. Find the equation of the line. For any equation of the line, its formula is y is equals to mx plus c. M is the gradient, as you all know. So to find the gradient, we have to see the change in y, which is now, what is the point B? It's 6. And where is point? It's on 2, as per the y-axis. So take change in y and change in x. X is 8 for B point and for it's 0 here. So the gradient would be 6 minus 2 is 4 over 8. So the gradient is half. The y-intercept is basically, if there's a line between A, B, where would it touch the y-axis? As you can see, it is touching at point A, which is 2. So I can just say plus 2. So half x plus 2. So my equation would be half times x plus 2. Next up, it's for bearing question. So it says 3 towns A, B, C are equidistant from each other. Now this is very important because when it says equidistant, you understand this ABC is an equilateral triangle. That means all the angles would be 60. I have not read the question, but I've just taken a clue from the question. The bearing of town C from A is 104. That means this whole bearing is 104, clockwise always. Calculate the bearing of B from C. Now, if this is 104, if I use the property of co-interior angle, so this would be 180 minus 104. This gives me 76 degrees. And the bearing of C, like B from C, would just be this angle, this whole angle. So I can simply say 360 to show my working. First of all, 180 minus 104, which is 76. Then 360 minus 60 plus 76. What does that give me? 360 minus 60 plus 76. That gives me 224. So I would put my answer as 224 degrees. Alright, I hope that's clear. Moving on, we have a speed time graph. So it says find the deceleration of the car between 240 and 320. Now deceleration is the change in speed. Now it went from 16 to 0. So I would say the change in speed is 16. And what about the time? 320 minus 240, that is basically 80 seconds. When you do this, you will get 0.2 meters per second. Calculate the total distance traveled. Total distance traveled will just be the area under the graph. Since this is a trapezium shape, so I can do 1 by 2 the base, which is 320, and the top part, that is this part. The base is this part, like from here to here. The top is just this part, the parallel sides. That's 240 minus 3, that is 210, and times the height. The height is basically 16. When I use my calculator and do half times 320 plus 210 into 16, that gives me 4240 meters. So I would just put that 4240 meters here. Moving on to the next question. Alright, now we move on to the next question where it's a sets question. So it says W represents students who walk to school and G represents students who wear glasses. And there are 20 students in the class. So we have 8 who walk to school, 3 who wear glasses and walk to school. So first of all, it says complete the Venn diagram, right? 3 do both, so we are sure that 3 would be here. 2 do not do anything, so 2 would be outside. Now when it says 8 who walk to school, you don't put an 8 here. This is wrong because the total of this circle, the circle W, should be 8. since we already have 3, what I'm going to do is the number here plus 3 should give us 8. That is obviously 5. Now 5 plus 3 would give us 8, and hence suggests that 8 people walk to school. Now what about the value in G? Since it's only 3, right? So the total is 20. If you do 5 plus 3 plus 2, it's 10. 20 minus 10 is just 10. So the value here would be 10. I hope this question is clear. Moving on, we have a graph question. So the graph of y is equals to f of x is drawn on the grid. Draw a tangent to the graph at the point x is 3. That means, what is the tangent? It would basically only touch the graph at this point. So we gotta take a ruler and be very careful. It should not touch the graph at any other point. Alright, just a minute. Yeah. No, this is getting too close. Then y is equals to 3. I would just see this point. You have to be as close as y. I mean, you have to touch the graph at least once at y is equals to 3, and make sure that it does not touch again. So I would say this is my tangent. It's very close, although it's not. No, I could do better on this. Let me take one more attempt. It's very hard to do it on a device though, so it's better if you guys practice this on the paper, since your real exam is also going on paper. Okay, I would just take this. This would be the best one. Now the next part says use your tangent to estimate a gradient for the curve at the point x is 3. So I would just find the gradient for this line, and I would take it from here. Where can I find a complete square? Complete square. This is roughly a complete square. So now I just have to find the gradient using this. First of all, change in y. 8.2, which is this reading, minus 2. 8.2 minus 2. 8.2 minus 2 divided by, if I take this one, that's 3.7 minus 2.3. 3.7 minus 2.3. What does that give me? First of all, 8.2 minus 2 over 3.7 minus 2.3. That gives you 4.43. So just write 4.43. Now indeed there's a range of answers, and you can check the marking scheme whether your correct answer falls in the range. It's most likely to, unless your tangent is way off the point. Next up, it says that y is directly proportional to x minus 1 squared. When x is 4, y is 3. Find y when x is 7. When it says directly proportional, that means y over x minus 1 squared will always be a constant value. So when y is 3, and when you do 4 minus 1 squared, so 3 over 3 squared, that means 3 over 9, would give us 1 over 3. That's the constant value. If you want to find y now, so we can say 1 over 3 into 7 minus 1 squared. 1 over 3 into 7 minus 1 squared. So the value of y would be 12 in that case. Now next up, it says that m is inversely proportional to the square root of p. Explain what happens to the value of p when the value of m is multiplied by 9. Now for this question, what I would suggest you guys is that you just take exemplary values for m and p. Now when it is inversely proportional, that means you know that m into square root of p will always be a constant. So let's say for m I'm taking 5, and for the p I'm going to take a perfect square, that is 36. So what does this give me? 5 times the square root of 36 is basically 30, because 5 into 6 is 30. Now when the value of p is multiplied by 9, now let m be here and the value of p be multiplied by 9. 36 into 9 is equals to 30, because the k would remain the same. So m would equal 30 divided by the square root of 36 into 9. That means the value of m is 5 by 3. What the initial value was 5, now it's 5 over 3. That means the value of m is divided by 3. You can check with any other values and you can still get the same answer. Then it's, I think, a similarity question. So it says two parcels are mathematically similar. The larger parcel has a volume 80 cm cube and height 5.2 cm. The smaller parcel has volume 33.75. We are asked for the height of the smaller parcel. So what you do is the height of the smaller parcel that you don't know over the height of the larger parcel that is given is equals to the volume of the smaller parcel over the volume of the larger parcel. Now because these are in like cm cube, so that means these readings also have to be in cube. Always remember that. That means in order to find h, I'm just going to do cube root, which will allow me to save one step, then take brackets and put 5.2 cube. I'm going to cross multiply this over here into 33.75 divided by 80. All right, so when I do that, I just put this whole thing in my calculator. You don't need to break it down any further, although if you want yourself for clarification, you could indeed, but I think this is very understandable. This would give you 3.9 exact. 3.9. Next up, we have a simultaneous question for I think 5 marks. Okay, so this is an important question. It says that 4y plus 3x is 13 and y is equals to x squared minus 18. So since the value of y is given, what I could do is I could replace this y with this equation. Alright, so 4 times x squared minus 18 plus 3x is equals to 13. 4x squared, negative 18 into 4, that's basically negative 72, plus 3x is equals to 13. When you take this in a quadratic equation form, 4x squared plus 3x, negative 72 minus 13, that's basically negative 85 is equivalent of 0. Now to solve this, I'm going to simply use the quadratic formula, negative 3 plus minus square root of 3 squared, which is 9, minus 4 times a, which is 4, times c, negative 85, over 2 times 4. So the results of this quadratic equation are negative 3 plus 9 minus 4 times 4, negative 85 over 8. That gives me 17 over 4, that's one value. Always remember, quadratic formula will give you two answers. So when you put negative, it gives me negative 5. So that means the values of x are 17 over 4 and negative 5. Now you simply got to find the values for y of it. Since y is equals to x squared minus 18, I could say negative 5 squared minus 18 and 17 over 4 squared minus 18. Use my calculator to calculate it. Negative 5 squared is 25, minus 18 is 7, and 17 over 4 squared minus 18 is basically 1 over 16. So 17 over 4, 1 over 16, and negative 5 times negative 5, 7, 17 over 4 would be 1 over 16. Moving on. Now for each get, put a ring around the correct type of function shown. So this is a cubic function because first you can see the shape of the curve, and it has 2 turning points and 2 intercepts as well, because quadratic would usually look like this, or hyperbola or parabola. Now this type of curve is called a reciprocal curve because it's in the two opposite regions, and also you have an asymptote. That means it doesn't touch the y-axis or the x-axis. It's moving away from the line. If you guys want clarification, a linear would be like a straight line, a cubic is shown upwards, quadratic would be, again, as I said, it could be like this, or it could also be like this. Exponential would just pass through basically this point, that is 1, and then it would rise. On the grid, sketch the curve of y is equals to sine x. Now for sine x, the first thing that I want you guys to do is mark the points for all the angles. When I say all the angles, I mean 0 to 360, 0, 90, 80, 360. Okay. I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. So somewhere here would be my center, not very accurate again, but somewhere here again, this would be. Now 90, 80, 180, 270, etc. And you could also draw up a line with your pencil just to make sure that you are touching the top and the bottom as well. You can erase these lines later on. Now sine 0 is 0, sine 90 is 1. I'm just going to use my ruler because I like to keep it perfect. I don't like a graph, which does not look. Sine 180 is 0. Sine 270 is negative 1. Sine 360 is 0. Now you could save a lot of time by just learning the shape of this graph rather than having to calculate all the sine values. But if you're not sure, it's not worth the risk of just, guessing it out. Just try this. It's one of the easiest questions that you can get on your paper 2 and your paper 4. So this is how it would look like. Then it says solve the equation sine x plus 0.4 is 0, Between 0 and 360 only. Negative answers in these questions are not accepted at any point. I need two answers. So sine x is negative 0.4. X is equals to sine inverse of negative 0.4. Sine inverse of negative 0.4, that gives me negative 23.578178848. 578178848. Now remember that you have to use this, you can't use this value, but for further calculation you need to use this value. You don't need to write the whole value down, but you can just save this in a calculator as a variable that is x or y. Now since this is negative, I could just add 360 to this and I would get 336.4218215. And if I check that answer sign of my answer value, it gives me negative 0.4. So that means that indeed is one of the values. That is 336.4. Another value, this is the angle, so I'm just going to say it in one, one significant figure, one decimal place. Another would be if I take 180, for example, just hold on. If I take 180 minus and minus again, so it would be plus the value of negative 23.578. That will give me, no, hold up. Why is this answer not correct? 180 minus 23.57817848. That gives me 203. And when I check the sign of this answer, it's basically negative 0.4. So 203.6. So how did I get these two answers? For this value, what I've done is 360 minus this value, that is 360 minus 23.578. Okay, I've done minus that and I will get this answer. And if you want to get this value, what you would do is 180 minus 23.57. For the negative value, it's a bit different, otherwise it's very, very easy. Now you look at this question, it says the Venn diagram shows information about the number of students in a class. Some study English, French, and Spanish, and some of them do not study any languages. Find the number of students in E union F naught. That means not this region. You see the two circles of E union F, not that. So outside of this, we have this student, that it makes 9. Union with S. That means we take this student for E union F naught, but S also. That means we have to consider this student, and this student. When we add 5 plus 4, 9, 9 plus 1, 10, 10 plus 3 plus 2 is 15. Now it says that one student is picked at random from those who study Spanish. Only from those who study Spanish, how many students are there? 10. Find the probability that student exactly 2 languages. So you could study Spanish and English and Spanish and French. Spanish and English, it's basically 2 students, so 2 out of 10. And for French, it's basically 3 out of 10. When you add them up, it becomes 5 out of 10, which is half. I hope this question is clear. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, then you can just comment down below and I'll try to reply you as soon as possible. However, I would choose to reply. I would recommend you guys to join my membership and have a go at my tutoring classes, which would help you a lot, especially in solving math past papers, because math is one of my favorite subjects and I've decided to continue it through my AS and A levels as well. Moving on, the last question on this page is a vectors question. So it says that O is the origin and OPQR is a parallelogram. M is a midpoint, so we can say this is half and this is half. And N divides QR into ratio 2:1. That means this would be 2 and this would be 1. 2 over 3, 1 over 3. OP is A and OR is B. Okay, find M of M and N. Now, to go from M to N, I would need to go from M to Q, and M to Q is basically half B. Then, from Q to N, it's basically QR is A, negative A. So, Q to N would be negative 2 by 3A. A very simple question. Half B minus 2 by 3, and there are 2 marks for this. Now, the real question comes here. The lines MN and O are extended to meet at S, this point. Find the exact vector of position S. Now, position S, we can say, imagine position vector, that means to start from the original list. So we can say the position vector would be some type of multiple of OR because it's in a straight line. So we could say that, imagine K is an unknown that we don't know, and it's going to be something times B, KB. That is one way to go from O to S, that is a multiple of OR. Another way could be from O to P, that is from here, then P to M, and then M to N something. M to N multiplied by something, that is O to P would give us A, P to m, that would give us half b. But we don't know something, that's say y, that we multiply with half b minus 2 by 3a. That is the value of 2 by 3. I mean mn. So you see, I'm not sure something will be. I'm not sure the value, but something if you multiply, then we can get to s. So again, we can say that kb is equals to a plus half b plus half yb minus 2 by 3 ya. Now, first of all, you're going to see for a only. If you see that a minus 2 by 3 ya, because on the other side there is no value for a, that means this is equivalent of 0. Alright, I could divide all of this by, I could remove the a by simply dividing everything by a. A by a is 1. If I remove from here, so minus 2 by 3y, and 0 divided by a would be 0. So that means 1 is equals to 2 by 3y, and y would be equal to 1 divided by 2 by 3. That is equivalent of 3 by 2. So since I know the value of y now, I could use the b ones. So I've been known that kb is equivalent of half b plus half yb. Since I know the value of y, I could say half b, and half, what is half into 3 by 2? 0.5 into 3 by 2. That's basically 3 by 4. 3 by 4 b. Half b plus 3 by 4 b. When you add 3 by 4 and half, what you'd get is 5 by 4. So kb is equivalent of 5 by 4 b. That means the value of k is 5 by 4. So since we thought that OS is basically kb, that means to go from O to S, you have to go some type of multiple, that is k, of the value of b. The value of k is 5 by 4, and the root is b. So that means this would be the answer. Now this was one of the questions that me and my friends faced very challenging during the exam. So you've got to focus on these types of questions a lot, because these can be very tricky at times. And just a tip before I end this video, that paper 2 is often assumed easy, and that's why indeed you go too fast and do not utilize the 1 hour 30 minutes properly. So you go at a normal pace over this paper, read each and every question carefully, because there are some words which can misplace your answers, although you're thinking in the right direction. So be very careful. Good luck. If you have any doubts, you can comment below, you can email me, and you can also join my memberships, and super thanks. Thank you. See you in the next video. If you have any recommendations for papers from 2024 or any other paper, please do comment down below, and I'll make sure that I can make a video on it to help you guys. See you in the next video. Thank you.